Well, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm basically trying to before we go. Should be making it.
For those of you who may not have a copy yet, there are copies of the annual report, I believe, in the pew behind Jessica. Magda, that is, because we have three. I don't know. We could move this table up.
Into you.
No, just behind me. That's. We might need to move the table forward if I'm gonna be able to use my heating pad.
Here we go.
You know, that
Just a little bit.
long.
Anybody that's walking through.
Needs to be aware.
I'm gonna check it out.
Oh, nice. This chair is like wiggly.
This one's real sturdy. Do you want to switch?
I just don't want to die.
Not die.
Don't want to die. Took a shit a week ago, has not helped things. My mom's house. Just about the time when it was starting to get really, really cold, I had this, moment of panic of, You turn the heat down, and there's the kitchen sink is on an outside wall, like. We went up. Everything's fine. Coming out,
Oh my gosh.
I put my right foot down, like in a pile of snow. And I can't feel my right foot,
No, I know.
so I was not on a steady spot and,
Sid, where do you want me? There or there? Usually I sit behind you as parliamentarian.
trying to, who else should be here?
Roger.
See,
If,
my last Tramadol was at 3 o'clock this morning. On it, I'm fine.
So which direction do you want me?
For now, I think, there's fine. I think
Okay.
we're all right. Feel free to make corrections as needed.
Yeah.
so I noticed we're not recording all of the names of those present. Like we do at a vestry meeting.
No, Naomi's been signing people in, making sure that
Okay.
their information is correct and having them sign.
Yeah, Ella took over that side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My information is correct and I'm here. If you can hear me.
Yes, I got you, Alicia.
Thank you.
I will remind you, I will change it, I'll do it. I'm eating soup, sorry, you don't get any. Yeah. Go for you.
Right where I left it.
You know, it's funny. That was down. I really didn't like it, but that. Yeah.
Conrad?
Yes.
Can I have a cup of coffee?
Yes.
That's coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to grind the beans. Very few signs I remember. That's one of them. Grind the
Sign
beans,
language?
grind the beans.
Grind the beans.
Make sure.
Well, if you're gonna know something in sign language, you better be something important, right? Well, no,
Toilet. After. So the bathroom.
that one I do know. I don't know where I picked that up. I picked that up in school. We're not being recorded yet, right?
I'm sorry,
We're not being recorded yet.
I hope not.
I want to ask you how mom is faring in her new abode. Any better?
Well, her new thing is that we never told her this was permanent. And we have never been to see her. We never told her it was permanent. Well, a big surprise.
Does she know that it's permanent?
I've explained it to her the last 4 times we've spoken and or visited,
Uh-huh.
and it's a new piece of information every day. So. We finally got the written report from her neuropsych evaluation.
There you go, senior ward.
Thank you so much for that. Which just basically reiterated everything we already knew and thought, and, but
by somebody who said, you know, I'm an MD who does neuropsych evaluations. and Here's the information.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whether or not, I mean, it's useful information for caregivers, it's useful information for us, for the doctor, everybody, whether or not she will actually be able to process it or not is another question. I think she's also very depressed. And we've requested their psych person to make visits. I'm not sure how useful that's gonna be or not, but we'll find out. So, but she's safe. She's fed, she's clothed.
Yep.
She's clean, she's medicated. Yeah,
I remember having to do that for my dad. We just couldn't.
Mm.
have him at home.
no,
But, you know,
and
it worked,
it's
and
what's,
he was so much better because he had socialization, he had activities. He met
She-
really good friends and, you know,
that is nice for heaven's sake.
he ate better.
Yeah,
He had his meds on time. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, so
yeah.
it was
And-
so much better.
Our, I mean, she doesn't think she needs to be there. She doesn't feel that, you know, this is a prison. We have put her in prison and left her there. And so that's incredibly, obviously hard. But the, and, you know, I know staff is really working, trying to encourage her to socialize with people who are kind of her stature, so to
If he
speak.
makes a friend, it'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, it will. It will. And I have to, you know, staff has been fabulous. They have been really, really wonderful.
Mhm.
Finding us.
Yeah, good.
So,
Mhm.
that's huge, obviously.
Mhm.
Naomi is gonna make, under additional business, Naomi's gonna make the motion about volunteers from the parish to help the executive committee with the kind of the,
Yes.
so we wrote out, she said we wrote out a motion for her to make.
Okay.
I should have sent that to you. I apologize.
Okay. I'll be ready.
Just didn't get to be surprised. Either.
So Alicia, what?
Where's Walter?
Back over here, hide behind the pole.
Oh, there he is. He's like, big enough guy. You think that could.
Yeah, you're the same guy. So Alicia reports that she can see and hear us. Heard you talking about your mom, so I turned the microphone down.
Thank you.
But I had to test the mic
Yeah,
to make sure.
yeah. Thank
So,
you.
no problem.
Oh, that's very exciting. That it was. Yeah, it's right behind your boss. No, I say thank you. Thank you for him.
Yeah. Why the camera's deciding to hear you?
It didn't. Awkward. No. Sorry. In case you wonder why we're waiting, the Zoom invitation for the meeting was set for 10:30. I don't want to start early and have anybody who's going to be joining us online be like, wow, the invitation said 10:30. Because that's always the reaction we get from these parishioners, right? Besides, I want to finish I don't know who made the buffalo chicken wing stuff. Thank you.
Gloria.
Roger? No, he's junior. Come on over here and sit by me. How are you?
Good.
Because you don't say anything. Have the dog at home and I was hoping to turn everything up. So.
We'll make it fast.
Roger, thank you for bringing the actual report to the table since the clerk forgot.
Ella and Naomi were going around with a copy of the parish rolls. I hope everybody has seen that. Checked your contact information, given us your signature so we know you were here. No, that's what we're using as the sign-in.
Anybody on Zoom, we have Alicia, if there's anybody else on Zoom, we can just check them off.
Is the mic on the laptop on? I can't hear you as well anymore.
Hold on, let me finish my last bite. My mother taught me not to talk in my mouth full. Can you hear me now, Alicia?
It's better, but not as good as when I first signed in. You guys were like loud and clear when I first logged on
We'll
somehow.
talk to the technical person about that.
That's all right.
Try it again. How about now?
It's the same. I'll listen hard and you guys go on with the meeting.
All right. I'd like to bring the 183rd annual meeting of Trinity Episcopal Church in Torrington to order. And I'd like to ask Naomi Cardillo to start with Naomi Cardello to start with an opening prayer. Thank you. This is a mouthful.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we gather today with grateful hearts, aware that every good thing comes from you. Thank you for guiding our church through another year, for moments of joy, seasons of challenge, and countless ways you have been faithful in both. As we enter into this annual meeting, fill this room with your spirit. Grant us clarity of mind, humility of heart, and unity of purpose. Help us to listen well, speak with grace, and discern your will above our own preferences. May every decision we make honor you and strengthen this community you have entrusted to us. Bless us with wisdom, revived energy, and a deep sense of belonging and calling. Remind us we are a family of Christ gathered to serve, love, and share your light in the world. Guide our conversations, steady our steps, and keep us rooted in your hope. We offer this time to you, trusting you will lead us forward as you always have. Amen.
Thank you, Naomi. The next order of business is the acceptance of the meeting minutes from our 182nd annual meeting, which happened about a year ago. There is a copy of those minutes in your packet. I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as the motion. The motion is made by Ed Wilmot that they be accepted as written. Do I hear a second? Rich Santiago, I do believe, was first. Is there discussion regarding these minutes? Thank you. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Hi.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Thank you.
have a personal thank you to make to this person sitting next to me, retiring officer of the vestry. A little more than a year ago, I was speaking with Mother Carrie about the possibility of becoming senior warden, and I said, well, I'll do it if Roger will be junior warden. And she said, you're on your own there, kid. And Roger and I spoke, and he reminded me that he was the same age as the outgoing president of the United States. And I said, Roger, we're trying to run a church, not a country. So he agreed with the knowledge that he would do it for a year. And I am eternally grateful that it was you who was next to me for this year, because it's been a heck of a year. So I cannot say enough. Thank you.
I can't begin to tell you how blessed we are to have Lydia as our senior warden. She's been phenomenal. So thank you.
My pleasure. I also want to thank the other person here on the dais, I guess. Dana Farr stepped in as clerk and has done a wonderful job. She's also been a wonderful voice on the vestry, able to ask hard questions in the nicest way. And also willing to really think about and have hard answers too. She's not going anywhere. That's the good news. She and Greg are remaining members of the parish, but she is retiring as clerk today at the end of this meeting. And also, though they are not here, they are smart and they are in Aruba. I want to thank Bruce Fox, as ably assisted by his lovely wife, Eleanor. As interim, he stood up and was interim treasurer after Robin died. We needed someone to fill the role. And he will always say, I didn't do anything. And my answer is, you said yes when you were asked. And that is huge. So when you see Bruce, please thank him as well. So thank you to all of you. The next item on the agenda is new vestry members who have been nominated. I almost forgot one. There are actually 5, which is amazing, first of all, because that will give us the maximum number of vestry members we can have according to our bylaws. And I can't tell you the last time that happened. And there was no begging involved. People actually raising their hands and saying, yeah, I'll do that, which is a theme, actually. The nominees thus far for vestry terms are Jill Morrison for a 1-year term to fulfill a 1-year term, Connie Hall. Nope, thank you. To fulfill a 2-year term, Roger Coutant for a 3-year term, Claudia Buick for a 3-year term, and Mary Smigelski for a 3-year term. Are there any nominations from the floor for further candidates for vestry? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to close the nominations from the floor. Naomi made the motion. Lynn Skokin is seconding. Is there any discussion with regards to this issue? Hearing none, I'm going to call the question.
Yeah, Lydia. I'll make the motion that as there are 5 positions filled and 5 candidates, the clerk cast 1 ballot for the candidates to fill the slate.
For those of you who may not have heard it, that motion is for the clerk to cast a single ballot for the acceptance of the slate as presented. I would entertain a second to that motion. Ed Wilmot seconding that motion. Any further discussion regarding this matter? All those in favor? All those opposed? If the clerk would be so kind after she's done typing to cast that ballot, as I always think. There she goes. Good job. And I thank all, oops, you had a question? No, no. The question was, do the people who are being elected have to abstain from the vote? And the answer is no. They're members of the parish. They get to vote too. Are you good, clerk? Okay. Just making sure the clerk is staying with us. We do have some changes in officers of the parish as well, because Roger is stepping down as junior warden and actually rolling back onto the vestry. One of our vestry members has accepted the position of junior warden, so she will be rolling off the vestry and into a position of officer, and that is Ella Fraunhofer. Another member of the vestry who will be rolling off the vestry and becoming an officer in the position of treasurer is Jessica Magda. And another person who will be rolling off the vestry as a member at large and becoming our new clerk is Naomi Cardello. I would entertain other nominations for any of these positions from the floor. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close nominations for officers. Ed. Just let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Okay. I would entertain a motion that the clerk cast a single ballot for the slate of officers as presented.
Can I do that? I make a motion that the clerk present a single ballot.
Sure, we'll let Alicia have that one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. Ed.
Okay, casting.
Yay! Oh, all those in favor of the clerk casting a single ballot? My apologies. All those in favor of clerk casting a single ballot for the list slate?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none? I think she's already done her job. Thank you. All right. The next item on the agenda, first of all, and thank you to everyone who volunteered. Like I said, there was really no begging involved in any of filling of any of those positions. There was maybe a little begging to Jessica, but you know. Anyway, the review of the warden's report, you can read the warden's report at your leisure. I don't need to read to you something that you're perfectly capable of reading. But it comes back to this group of people that makes up this parish is bloody amazing. And that's the bottom line. We're doing what needs to be done, and we're doing God's work in the world. And when I think about all the problems I've got, Trinity Church is not even on the list. And it's because of the people who are here and the people who do the heavy lifting and the light lifting, because when we do it all together, it's all light lifting, and it's an incredible place to be part of. And I thank each and every one of you for everything you do, because everybody here does something, and that's why it works. That's why it works. So enjoy reading my report at your leisure. Would the building warden like to review his report in any way, shape, or form? Accurate, brief, and concise, says our building warden. If you have any questions or issues with our enormous physical plant, Gary is a remarkable person, but he cannot read your mind. So please make sure he's aware of anything that's going on. So if you know anyone who lives in this neighborhood, apologize to them. Apparently it went on for a little while before we actually were made aware of it, because it was a weekday and I wasn't paying any attention, but apparently the bell was ringing for quite some time, continuously. Wow. Well, the bell works. Yeah. 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 Again, we say we can't hear the bell from our houses. So anyway. So if you, as the old saying goes, if you see something, say something, or you hear something, say something. Yes, exactly. I'd like to call on our incoming treasurer, Jessica Magda, to field any questions about our 2026 annual budget, which is toward the back of your packet in pretty colors. Please don't triple the word. I can't reach.
Well, it's fine. I fell on ice yesterday and I'm okay. Okay, so with Bruce Fox being in Aruba, very smart. I got to help Lydia and Roger put this together. We ended, well, 2026 budget. You want to approve that first before we talk about this year? Because I feel like they're sort of related. Received. Okay.
We can do this out of order. We can review 2025 and then approve 20.
And we can do 2026. So that's fine. So essentially we ended up with an excess this year, mainly because we haven't had a priest in charge for over half the year. And so although we initially projected, I think, well, I guess I am talking about last year, but it's fine. We're getting to this year. We initially proved like a $20,000 deficit that did not come to pass. So when creating the 2026 budget, Vestry made a couple of assumptions. One is that it is now February and we still don't have a priest in charge. So we did not budget for a full year priest in charge for 2026. We budgeted for, I believe, like 3/4 of the year. I think it was 9 months of having one. The other thing to note is that if you were to go back and compare over the years what Carrie's salary was and even Nick's and what we're looking at for salary and benefits in our budget, it's a lot more, even though it's still a half-time priest. The diocese requires us to assume that we are going to call a priest who has a family of 4 and has been a priest for at least 10 years. So like basically the most expensive priest that you can find. So we have to have that in writing. Nevertheless, the 2026 budget still ends up with a surplus because of, because we have some left over from this year and we don't have a full year priest. If anyone is asking in their mind, great, we have this extra money, like, why don't we do stuff? Or like, maybe pull back on what you're giving. I would just say, please don't, because things would still be very tight when we do have a priest in charge. And I think it's important to note that like we are, so looking at the budget, some of the things either didn't go up or maybe even looked like they went down a little bit. Such as some of the utilities costs. And that's because we spoke with the diocese and said, one reason our utilities are going to be so high this year is because we host a shelter every night. And so we actually have a separate sub budget to look at like what are the extra expenses that we assume from hosting things like McCall's and like the shelter. And as much as possible outside of this budget, we are very busy soliciting grants, and we'll get to that when we sort of talk about last year's budget. But we already have a commitment from like the Draper Fund to give us $7,000 towards hosting a shelter for this winter. So that check will probably arrive in February. That's stuff that you guys aren't necessarily going to see on here, because it is really, we get that because we host things like the overflow shelter. That being said, and I know it's not always easy to live with that going on here, but please understand that if we didn't have that money, there's a very good chance things like the rectory would be shut down. And so we really are able to kind of utilize outside grantors because of the good work that we're doing, and it aligns with our mission as a Christian church. So I feel pretty good about that. And with that being said, questions about the budget?
Hold on, give me the microphone.
Hi. I don't know if this is the right time. I'm new. Hi. But I just wanted to share because the shelter came up, and as we're talking about investment and some of the challenges that may arise, as you've seen, some of the guests have come here to services, and I've had a chance to befriend a few people and actually start volunteering as part of the shelter. And I just want to tell you how grateful they are to have a place to go. As you felt the cold weather, the doors are open even longer here, and the team from the Y and others from McCall continue to show up. And some of the things that I've heard people say, I've come into and I haven't felt safe, but I feel safe here. And that's a really powerful thing, to be able to provide not just indoors, but a place where people feel like they can actually be, that they actually can have a moment to feel that value as humans, as children of God, and maybe for a brief moment feel safe. So I just wanted to take a moment to share that as we talk about that investment, so you all really know that this is truly impacting the lives of some really wonderful people in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Huh? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I think the relevant part of that is if anyone's looking at like, wow, it's really nice that we do this, but like, can we really afford to do this? The answer is yes, because this is how I get grants. We would not be eligible for the grants that we get if we didn't do this sort of outreach stuff.
One of the reasons that we kind of remove the grant money that Jess is so good at soliciting is because those grantors are giving us the money to offset expenses for the shelter. Most of those grantors would not give a church, a religious organization, money. They are giving us these grants because we are doing community work, and we keep it outside of our income that we actually pay a tithe to the diocese on, because it would be a direct contradiction to our grantors' missions if we were to turn around and give 10% of everything they gave us to the Episcopal Diocese of Connecticut. So that, and the Episcopal Diocese the diocese is absolutely with us on this. They understand that. We're not trying to pull a fast one in any way, shape, or form. And it was the treasurer of the diocese, Canon Rosado, who said, you need to create a sub-budget that says, these are the extra expenses you're experiencing, and they are offset by these extra income by these grants. So that is kind of what Jess is talking about having this kind of sub-budget. So that's kind of the whys and wherefores of that. Does that make sense? Good. Does anyone have other questions for Jess about what happened with 2025, what we're projecting for 2026? And no, if you don't have questions today, and you look at this on Tuesday, and you have questions then or any time between now and whenever, you can always come to a vestry meeting. You can ask anyone on the vestry. You can ask Jess. You can ask Melanie Lay, who is the most amazing resource we have. This is very transparent. We try to be very transparent about everything we do, especially when it comes to money, because it's not our money. I would entertain a motion to receive the budget as approved by the vestry for 2026. I'm going with Gloria. She hasn't had one yet. I'd hear a second. Mary Smigelski. Does anyone have further discussion about receiving the budget for 2026? Hearing none. All those in favor of receiving the budget as passed by your vestry, please say aye.
Hi.
All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. We can take a quick look at 2025.
Okay. So to quickly review some of the highlights of 2025, and again, I kind of came to this late, so I may punt some questions to Lydia since I wasn't treasurer when I wrote all this. Things, like I said, they went much better than projected. A couple of huge thank yous. One to Bruce Fox for filling in when we needed him. And then if everyone can just take some time out to remember Robin Turpin in our prayers. She was such a gift to this parish. And the only reason I feel at all sort of qualified to do this job is because when I was senior warden and we were in between priests, we would talk at least 2 or 3 times a week about the stuff going on here. And she's just such a huge loss. So when you say your prayers, please remember Robin. And I still have a lot of conversations with Robin. I hope she's listening. I said, I pray to God and Jesus Christ and then Saint Robin in my free time. So in terms of last year, you can read the whole report here. I will try not to bore you with all the details, but we received about $158,000 of $168,000 budgeted. I do believe there was a couple of late pledges that came in. Mel told me about that, even though they are for last year, have to be credited to this year. We received less income because Joyful Noise is no longer a tenant here, as you may have noticed. We talked about the grants already and how we kind of get these things because of our other activities. So we are actually ending with a $45,000 surplus for this past year. This will be used really wisely, you guys. And we've already had some conversations about potentially, because we have this pot of money right now, either somewhat decreasing the draw from our endowment that we take every month. We do take about a 5% out of our endowment every year, and letting that money sit there and grow, or potentially utilizing a short-term CD to get better interest. Now that you've all voted me in as treasurer, I can do things. And one of those things is going to be to talk to our financial advisors and kind of let them know what our situation is. Because again, if we have this sitting there, let's do something with it. Let's make some money with this money so that we can keep this place going and doing that good work. Endowment rose over a little bit over 1%, because we drew 5% out of it as well. So despite that draw, we still ended up with a little bit of extra in there. We still have a small but robust capital campaign account of $14,535. That's used for unexpected things like, oh no, this window needs to be fixed or a furnace broke. That being said, actually, in terms of a water heater, we had the water heater and the water heater in the boiler in the rectory conk out in May. That was completely covered by grant money from the NEAG Foundation and from Thomaston Savings Bank, because we use that as part of our shelter. And so again, it is really a win-win situation. We help others and we are able to get help because of that. It's like the best forward motion, right? And I kind of feel like God is happy with that. We have zero balance on our line of revolving credit. We owe significantly less on the loan that was taken out in 2004 for, I think, the Undercroft. And thanks to a generous gift by Ann and Tom Bott, we were able to pay a lot of that down. And so that is an expense that's going to go away after September of this year. We spoke about the budget. We continue to be a parish in good standing with the Episcopal Church. That means we pay our tithe as we are supposed to. That is really important because it makes us also eligible to get grants from the Episcopal Diocese. So that doesn't necessarily have to do with us doing ministry, but will hopefully help us do things like do some repairs in the clock tower, other property improvements that we get because we pay that tithe. And I have some listed in here from the Terrell Fund, which is part of the Northwest Region Leadership Team. We got a $2,500 property improvement grant this past year, another $1,500 that came from them via, that was also part of for Grief Share that Naomi runs. Trinity Lime Rock applied for a grant and got $2,000, which they gave us to repair our railing out front because they know we host the shelter. So they helped us out with that. And I mentioned a lot of the non-diocesan grants, so we will continue to solicit those. There was no issues with our audit by King and Associates this year. And finally, like, huge thanks to Melanie. She just does so much work. And there is an email account associated with the treasurer. I don't actually have the password for it yet, but I did tell Mel, assuming y'all voted me in, I would meet with her next week and get all that stuff. So if you have an urgent question, do not send it to treasurer@trinitytorrington.org because I'm not on it yet. But call Mel, she'll get me the information. Questions about last year's expenses? Back to you.
Thank you, Jess. All together now. Thank you, Jess. Good, thank you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you have the opportunity, and if you don't have the opportunity, make the opportunity to thank Melanie Lay for the incredible work she does for us. She technically works part-time for us, 9 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't tell you the number of times that I get to work in the morning and I have a question. Oh, I'm going to quick send it to Mel. I'll send her an email at 7:15 and she answers me at 7:20. Or she answers me, I'll send her something in the afternoon. I'll send her something at 4 o'clock. She answers me at 4:20. So she's kind of always on, way more than what we pay her for. And her willingness to help and her ability to know what's going on is incredibly valuable to all of us. So if you have the opportunity, say thank you. All right. The next item on the agenda is additional business as needed, including questions and answers. Does anyone have any general questions about what's going on? Greg Farr. For those of you who couldn't hear Greg, he's asking about how our relationship with Trinity Lime Rock is going. For those of you, just to bring everybody up to speed, we have Canon Kevin Olds, who is the canon for congregations and ministry, something like that. He's the person who helps us call a new priest. Made the suggestion that perhaps Trinity Lime Rock and Trinity Torrington could, both of whom are looking for half-time priests, could call in partnership a full-time priest. The process started with wardens emailing back and forth, and then we had quite a long Zoom call. We budgeted like half an hour for it, and it went for about an hour and a half. Our vestries have met twice now and shared meals together and talked about what we're looking for in priests. We've read each other's profiles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We are no longer dating. We are engaged. We have made a formal agreement that we are attempting to call, together with Trinity Lime Rock, a full-time priest. This is theoretically going to increase our candidate pool, because if you'll recall, the last
3 priests we have had here, all of whom we loved dearly, all left because all of them needed full-time positions. So we're hoping to find someone we love and who Trinity Lime Rock loves and give them full-time work between the two of us. So currently our point in transition is that it took us a little while longer than we wanted to submit our financials to the diocese. They were submitted, I believe, on the 8th of January. And those financials included not only our past parish reports and our past budgets, but also projected budgets for the next 3 years. So as you can imagine, kind of creating things out of whole cloth about who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 years. Who knows if we'll all be here in the next 3 days, never mind the next 3 years. So that took a lot of work, and thanks to Jess and Melanie, again, this work was able to happen. So the diocese at this point is reviewing our financials. The good news is it's been since the 8th of January, and I haven't heard gales of laughter, and I haven't had anybody call me up and say, "Are you kidding me?" So I take that as a very good signs. Kevin Olds believed that they would be done by the end of this week with the review. So once those are reviewed, we can actually post the job and start looking at candidates. Does that answer your question? Judy? Supply clergy, you mean? Your senior warden is actually going to get back on the email this week and start scheduling people at least through May, because I was really hoping we weren't going to need to, but there it is. I'm sorry, Jess had a question as well? No, that is not the case here. This is very much like a marriage in that theoretically it's 50-50, but anybody who's ever been in a long-term relationship knows sometimes it's 70-30 and sometimes it's 60-40, but the 90-10. But the goal is to split it as evenly as possible right down the middle. And that will take some logistics because it's not just Sunday services. There's things like Easter and Christmas Eve. And so it's going to take some logistics and some figuring out. Actually, it would be one agreement, both churches signing one agreement with one person, as opposed to 2 agreements, because you want to make sure that everything is the same. And that having one agreement, both churches having a letter of agreement with a priest, make sure that everything is the same. Does that make sense? Okay. Cute man in the back.
Oh, married couples can't be on vestry, so that we. It hasn't been said, but let me just say it is not a merger.
No.
This is not a merger, so no names are changing. Our vestry is our vestry, their vestry is their vestry. I highly encourage people to try to visit Trinity Lime Rock. It's not all that far away. Coordinate with people if you want to share a ride or something. I will put a link in for their newsletter. They have a fantastic newsletter. It's almost as good as ours, I think. If you just want to be in touch and see what concerts they have, what other events. And there are definitely some things happening in the diocese, like the Camp Washington Community Dinner, trying to encourage folks from Trinity Lime Rock to go there as well. And Trinity Torrington is also organizing events here in the church, like the movie events with Our Culture is Beautiful. We'll have open mic in February and then again in April. So we are trying to do some events that are open to the community as well. I'm encouraging Trinity Lime Rock to participate as well. So there are definitely opportunities to get to know some of the parishioners there. And I'll just speak from experience, having been there a few times. They are very, very similar congregations to us. Very, very like-minded in our importance of liturgy, but our social outreach as well. So it really is a nice meeting of two. But it is not a merger. Trinity Torrington is still Trinity Torrington with all the blessings and challenges that we've always had. Trinity Lime Rock will still be Trinity Lime Rock. We will just have a common priest that we will need to negotiate hours. And I think it was mentioned too that there are way more candidates looking for full-time employment than there are people looking for part-time employment. So we will get more people looking for it full-time. Thank you.
We actually joined Trinity Lime Rock Online last week during the snowstorm, and it was very nice. It was a very nice, you know, they have a parishioner, Marilyn Anderson. Took me a moment. Marilyn Anderson, who was a parishioner at Trinity Lime Rock, is also a priest. She had been scheduled to celebrate there, and so she sat at her dining room table, and we had a short prayer service. She read the gospel and delivered the sermon she had prepared for the day. It was very nice. It was very nice. So even if you can't get there, they have a very lively online presence. So, Claudia.
Obviously, both vestries have to agree on that first.
Yes.
Does it still first emanate from the bishop's selections, or are we in a search committee going at, like joint search committee going?
The job will be posted as a joint call. It'll be a full-time call, but it'll be posted very clearly that this full-time call is between Trinity Torrington and Trinity Lime Rock.
And there, as you scroll down, it will say Trinity Torrington, and I think it says underneath the parentheses, in concert or with Trinity Lime Rock, and then right underneath it, it says
Trinity Lime Rock with Trinity Torrington. Yeah.
So it's clearly on there as a joint thing together, but separate entities. Do they apply to?
Both of us. Yeah. The original application will go to the diocese because that any candidates will be vetted by the diocese before they come to us. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Any candidates are looked at by the diocese. They're vetted by the diocese before they come to us. So we don't end up where we were 10 years ago. Hold on a second, Dylan. Judy? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question. If for anyone who couldn't hear her question, Judy asked if push came to shove, would the diocese just appoint someone? I think they might, if push came to shove, there might be the experience of, gee, here's a great candidate. I think, I don't, you know, I can say, I don't think that would happen. Yeah. Anything is possible. Newland.
Does not technically work with the parish. So we're looking for a full-time priest, which would be different from a priest in charge for each parish. Is that correct?
I believe we are shopping for a full-time priest in charge. No, they do. Yeah, PIC, full-time PICs exist. The difference between a priest in charge and a rector is that you sign a letter of agreement with a priest in charge, and it's kind of like a trial marriage. It truly, it is. Because after an agreed upon amount of time,
whether it's 18 months or 24 months, you sit down with that priest in charge. Your vestry sits down, your wardens sit down, and the diocese is involved. And you say, do you want to stay married, or how, how's it going? And at that point, either party can say, or you can say, yes, we want to remain. We want to remain in this partnership. That's the advantage of a priest in charge, in my opinion. If at that time, after that agreed upon amount of time, you want to say, yes, we want to make this a permanent arrangement, you can then call your priest in charge as a rector. And that basically just changes the relationship and the letter of agreement, but it doesn't really change what happens day to day. Anybody else? Anything else? Anyone else? Gloria. Trust with all your heart. And do not lean on your understanding. Trust with all your heart and do not lean on your understanding, on your own understanding. Thank you, Gloria.
That is the essence of hearing a call that we have, that we ask, ask God to lead us in that direction. And God willing, we have been going in that direction for all these years, and it keeps on happening. Thank God.
Yep. Yep. Naomi.
To make a motion, hang on, I will come to you.
I won't argue.
Because I got to stand up. My back's hurting. I actually have been scribbling something over here. So I would like to make a motion that we invite up to 4 members of the parish that are not vestry members to join the executive committee of the vestry as members of the search committee. That these members of the congregation be involved with the preliminary reviews and interviews with the priest in charge, but that the parish members would have vote or voice, but be non-voting members. And if there are more than 4 people, that we put names in a hat and draw.
Does everyone understand the motion?
Yeah.
Does everybody understand the motion?
I'll second. No, discuss it.
Okay. Okay.
Motion on the table that has been seconded.
Discussion? Is there anyone who would like to put their names in to sit on this committee? Newland? Anyone else? Ed Wilmot? Anyone else? Gloria Olson? No, Gloria, you have a different last name now. Melville. Okay, I think we're Joyce Gustafson. Anyone else? Dana. Okay, so we're gonna have to go for putting names in a hat. I have blank pieces of paper. I'm just gonna write names.
Anyone else? Thank you again. All these people raising your hands. I love it.
I'm just, Roger, can you just verify that I'm just putting,
Gary,
and I think you have a lovely hat, don't you?
I do.
Um,
In the sleeve of the ugly coat next to you.
Can you
Oh,
just-
that one works too.
Yep, perfect. Dana, Gloria, Newland.
Yeah.
You're funny with that. Thank you.
Very good.
Joyce
Newland, Ed, Gloria, Dana.
Gloria. All right, who am I missing?
Newland,
Got it.
Ed,
Oh, Ed. Anybody else?
Gloria,
Got it. Hang on, Gloria, Dana. Okay, yep,
Dana, Joyce,
yep,
and add Tiffany, please.
okay. Tiffany. Is there anyone else?
Since we're eliminating one, actually, if you roll one.
Tiffany makes six.
Yes.
Six. Newland, Ed, Gloria, Dana, Joyce, and Tiffany.
So we will.
I'm not. So there are six names in this hat: Newland Keene, Ed Wilmot, Gloria Melville, Dana Farr, Joyce Gustafson, and Tiffany Santiago. Anyone else? Okay, I am going to pull two names out of the hat to eliminate two people. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I pull my own name? No.
Nice.
Oh, Dana. I'm going to have the same response no matter who I pull out. And Joyce. Phooey.
Great.
Thank you all for volunteering. This is enormous, as always. So Newland, Ed, Gloria, and Tiffany are going to be joining us, joining the executive committee, which is the two wardens, the treasurer, and the building warden, and the clerk, sorry. So it's a committee of 9 to do our preliminary review of resumes and preliminary, probably what will be online Zoom interviews. The final decision after we have done any preliminary work actually goes to the vestry. The whole vestry serves as the search committee pro se. Okay? Thank you all for volunteering. Does anyone else have anything else for the good of the order or any questions, Mr. Wilmot? Absolutely.
About, from this meeting. We got her a gift card that, I have not actually been to get
Yes. Yes. The vestry voted to make a gift to Mel in appreciation for her work. I really can't say enough good things about Mel and her work. If we had all the money in the world, I would quadruple her salary. Any other business for the good of the order? Gary? Yes.
So 2 mothers and their 8 children could have a nice Christmas. That's a big deal. And last year, we raised $966.58 in our strip program. And we got the full value. We raised almost the year before, we raised $964. We increased by $2.
The gift card program does take a little bit of planning, and I know that's where I fall down.
Oh, look, they're on Razor Right. And you pay, get the gift card on your phone and pay with it there.
I use it for what Gary refers to as your anyway dollars. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go to Price Right and spend more money than I want to anyway. I might as well buy a gift card from Trinity and give some of that money to Trinity if I'm going to give Price Right the money anyway. Same thing with Amazon and Walmart and Shell and all of the places you go all the time. But it does, for me, it takes a little advanced planning in here, which can be the hardest part. Use them for Christmas. Exactly. Exactly. Joyce.
Get out of the homes and in the fields, that our minister goes down there once a week maybe and gets to become familiar with the people and chat.
That's something we would have to, probably the vestry or or the wardens would have to talk to whoever we hire. I can't promise an unknown person is going to do particular tasks. I personally think that would be a great idea. And just so everybody knows, the name of the organization that rents from us is not the soup kitchen, it is the community kitchen. And they would like us to refer to them as the community kitchen. That is the name of their organization. And I understand that. It'd be, and I think we should respect that. I'm having trouble remembering that because it's been years and years and years. But if we can all make that effort, but I mean, personally, I agree with you that that is part of our ministry here in the building. But again, I can't promise that someone I don't know is going to do that, but I can't imagine why not. Mhm. Greg? Our formation leaders are amazing. Absolutely. Ella Fraunhofer, yes. Yeah. Their ability to include people and expand our horizons, both intellectually and spiritually, I am always, always, always impressed with. And thank you very much. I frankly have been too busy. I miss doing Bible study, but maybe again one day down the road. Conrad.
To have two book clubs at one point. So they're trying to revive a book club. We've also reached out to Trinity Line Rock. They have at least one person interested. So we're trying to figure out some way where we possibly real time, zoom in, etc. And working very hard to have a book group where people could zoom in from Line Rock, from wherever. So another great idea to build some unity. Thank you.
Any other business for the good of the order?
Alicia and I, would like to have Trinity have a float in our Memorial Day parade. So if anyone is interested in working on that, has ideas, has a truck or a trailer, and would like to help us, please see, either myself or, Alicia, and we would love to have you join us.
I'm going to ask Naomi for an closing prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious God, thank you for guiding our time together today. As we lead this meeting, fill us with unity, wisdom, and renewed purpose. Bless our work, our homes, our nations. Keep us faithful to your calling and remind us that we are to work towards a goal of peace and unity with one another. Go with us now in peace and let your love shine through all that we do. In your Son's holy and precious name we pray. Amen. And I make the motion we adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
You want to stay? You can stay. Thank you all. Please take food home.
I think Lynn seconded, right?
Yes. Didn't see it.
I think it was, sorry.
Thank you for letting me join on Zoom.
Thank you, Alicia.